Howdy, folks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, I have a bit of a guns and gear video. So I've been seeing some stuff circling around about the ATF. Got me quite uncomfortable. Going to talk a bit about it, raise some awareness, if you will. But apparently the ATF is going after the FRT triggers again. And they were shot down in the past on this, but apparently they're coming after them again. And essentially, this is what they're trying to claim. They are trying to claim that essentially some of the triggers are allowing firearms to automatically expel more than one shot with a single trigger pull. Now, that being said, what I know of the FRT triggers, that's actually a lie. And I kind of wonder what the ATF was doing to make that happen. Because essentially what a forced reset trigger does is it forces the trigger to reset so you can get off a faster consecutive shot. That's all it does. It doesn't allow you to fire more than one shot. There's not an automatic sear in the trigger system or anything along those lines, at least that I'm aware of. And the research that I poured into it, I couldn't find anything that concluded that the FRTs are turning ARs into fully automatic ARs. I haven't seen anything along those lines. So this is kind of interesting. The next thing that's kind of interesting, from what I can tell, it is actually not illegal to have an FRT, or at least not currently. However, that being said, a judge did order FRT sales to be suspended, and this was in January. I saw this when this was. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't have much of a dog in the fight on this whole forced reset trigger thing. I don't have a forced reset trigger, but I am a firearm owner, so I guess in a roundabout way, I do have a dog in this fight, if you will, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a slippery slope. I got some footage here that I'm going to play for you. This video is very recent. This is going to be the full video. I am going to pause it at moments, though, and I am going to say a couple things that comes to mind, so just bear with me. Okay, so now, like I said, understand that this is just a video that someone had taken. The ATF had approached this person about owning an FRT, but I'm going to let the footage roll for a bit. Like I said, I'm going to pause it at moments, and I'm going to put some feedback and say a few things.
I own the company Moonlight Industries.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So we make like low visibility.
Oh, really?
We specialize in like, right now we have a contract with SEAL Team 6 actually.
Okay.
We make their like low visibility MP7 rigs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about this is you got a federal agency, the ATF, literally approaching someone who does military contract work for the SEALs. And I'm sure he probably also does military contract work for other groups, but okay, this is interesting in itself.
Okay, cool. So, were you expecting us?
Well, what didn't surprise me when I saw a guy in a plate carrier showing up. So
Well,
got the
we're
Ultima
obviously-
OTBs on. So.
Yeah, no. So the reason why we're here is because I don't know. I'm sure you're aware that just
I do want to point out that this guy's body armor looks a little small, but okay, maybe that's just me. The next thing is these guys they're not trying to hide who they are. They're definitely standing out as they're wearing body armor. They stick out like a sore thumb. And there's some other videos I've seen of ATF agents approaching people and knocking on their doors and et cetera, and they're always wearing tactical gear. Now, what's interesting about this guy is his body armor says police. Now, she has body armor on. It's not the same type of body armor, but I noticed her badge there does say ATF on it. So I'm a little confused of who this guy is. Is he working for the ATF? Is he not working for the ATF? Is he a local Leo? Because a lot of the people that I see him wearing that work for the ATF that has body armor on, it usually says ATF on the body armor. The badges are also a bit more visible too. So it's something feels off about this.
Recently, the ATF classified the FRTs, the force
Sure.
reset triggers, as machine guns.
Yeah.
So we are
Okay, so we're constituting trigger parts that are not that doesn't have an automatic sear in them as machine guns. So yeah, this is kind of questionable, especially when you look recently at the auto key card thing with another gun tuber. I'm not really going to mention his name. I really don't want to dive too into it. I mean, I think it's CRS Firearms, but I really honestly I can't remember off the top of my head. And it's once again the ATF is just going, "Hey, this is a machine gun because we said so." And that's okay, this is getting to be a really slippery slope because sooner or later everything is going to be a machine gun if the ATF keeps doing what they're doing.
aware that you may have purchased some of these FRTs.
Okay.
So
Okay, now doesn't that seem like a violation of the Fourth Amendment? I mean, they need a search warrant and everything else. And the fact that they're approaching this guy in the middle of the day, telling him that they're aware that he purchased a trigger, I'm pretty sure that's actually breaking some laws there. I could be mistaken.
now we are having, like, the whole agency is basically reaching out to these purchasers,
That's incredible. Yeah.
and we have to pick them up. They're
Okay.
illegal, so
So I won't.
They're illegal. Well, like I said, I went looking before I made this video. I've found no evidence that they're actually illegal, except for the fact that the ATF is trying to ban them under the National Firearms Act, which they tried recently with the pistol brace ban, and recent information looks like to me that the pistol brace ban actually got shut down. So, yeah, it kind of looks like they're overstepping their bounds here again.
Be answering any questions today. I don't have any comments on this subject. I won't be giving you anything.
okay. So you
Now, I got to admit, this is what the guy just did here is really good. He essentially pleaded the fifth. I will not answer your questions. I will not be giving you anything. I have no comments on this. So basically, he boiled it down to, if you want to talk to me, you're going to have to come back with an arrest warrant, and then you're going to have to talk to my lawyer, is basically what he just did in layman's terms. The moment he did that, that does force the ATF to go to the court and to try to get a search warrant and an arrest warrant. And that's going to be a lot harder for them to do if the courts are going, well, no, we didn't make these illegal.
Are you refusing to give us the trigger?
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any questions.
okay?
Now, see, that's pretty good right there, too. So keep that in mind. If you're one of these guys, I'm not refusing anything. I'm just not answering any questions.
But okay, so we are aware that you did purchase FRTs. Again, you wouldn't be in trouble if you just gave those up to us, or
Okay.
if you sold them, you can tell me you sold them.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be in any trouble if he just gave them up. Meanwhile, if he did just give it up, he'd probably be in a courtroom right now, waiting for jail time.
Okay.
And again, you're not going to be in trouble for that.
I understand.
So we're just here, honestly, like, just to pick them up.
Sure. It's a bigger conversation than what you're having right now. You decide as you go.
I do want to also point out the big thing here, too, is his demeanor. Okay, yeah, I would like to sit here and watch this guy just say, you know what? You people can get the fuck off my land. But at the same time, he's getting a lot more done by just chilling back nicely and just trying to be nice with them and say, I'm not answering your questions. That's another thing. The demeanor needs to be highlighted here because he's already established that we're not going to make any progress. You're going to have to go through the legal system if you want to search or anything else. And, basically, if he start being rude, the tension would have got higher, then he'd be getting arrested for something much, much more minor, and it'd be harder for him to essentially legally protect himself.
Oh, the rules, right?
Again, that's not something I decide.
It's not. I know. You guys are just here. You guys
I
are
don't
just here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all.
I understand.
I don't want to be here any more than you want me to
Sure.
be here.
Well, it's the problem is you are the people who go and knock on the doors, right? So when they make new laws and you break them, or you go against the citizens, because they've spoken what they buy and what they do, the citizens are speaking, but the government is making their decisions on what they think. They're not being servants to the citizens, right?
And all we're saying is, like,
It's kind of funny. The guy there, he's just kind of like, well, so he kind of seems like to me in the back of his mind is, yeah, I agree with you. The government's overstepping their bounds. I'm just here doing my job. It's kind of interesting to see that, because while she's sticking like all gun ho of like, hey, you got to give up that trigger, he's just kind of like, yeah, I don't even want to do this. Like, it's really interesting to see.
I mean, we, like you said, we just hear, we are the ones that just come and knock on the door. We just
Sure.
enforce the laws. We don't make the laws. So
Sure, I understand.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not in trouble. I mean,
No,
you
and I
buy
understand
them,
that. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. That's yeah. I love good law-abiding cops who are good people, are doing what they do, and I understand you have families to feed. You're just doing what you're told, so you don't get fired from your job. But there is a problem that exists, and at some point you have to make your decision on which side of the team you're on. So I won't be answering any questions. If I'm not being detained, I'm not under arrest, I'll just be leaving now. Okay. I won't be able to help you with what you're trying to find.
So, and just to be clear, so then now you know that if you were to be in possession of these FRTs, then you would be basically breaking the law.
The ATF claims that they're making rules, but there's been no vote. There's been no congressional hearing that says you have the law. You don't make law, right?
He's making a valid point.
I don't.
Yeah, the ATF doesn't make law.
Again,
No.
Again, but it's.
I don't want. Listen, right now I seem like a huge dick. Like I'm like fuck you guys, but I really don't feel that way at all. I just can't, in good faith, when I make the gear for every high-end special operations unit in America right now. That's all I do. That's all I do is support these freedom fighters. A lot of law enforcement SWAT guys. I can't take part in an overstep past the line that says this is or is not legal. Just because you have a badge, you can still do crimes, right?
Right.
So if the American people feel like, the ATF is committing crimes right now, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
So that very last snippet, he pretty much states that it's like the American people feels like the ATF right now are committing crimes. I don't know what is the percentage of the American people that feels like the ATF is committing crimes. And honestly, what I'm seeing here with this and what I saw with, I believe it's CRS Firearms with the whole auto key card thing. Yeah, the ATF is definitely overstepping their bounds. I mean, the pistol brace ban was, I kind of felt like, yeah, that was overstepping their bounds. And I know what they were trying to do was recategorize something that they were already regulating. But to me, this is just overstepping their bounds. And what really has me concerned at this point is what's next. Ammunition. I mean, I just recently bought, just this last year alone, I'm going to end up probably buying around 45 to 5,000 rounds of ammunition. I buy my ammunition by the bulk. Is that going to be the next thing that the ATF is going to do? Oh, you can't buy bulk ammunition? Because that's really where they're going. And before anybody asks, no, you're not allowed to know what I buy my bulk ammunition for. Okay, I go out to the range a lot. There you go. So, yeah, there's a lot here and it just seems like the ATF is doing more and more and more shit that definitely is really shady. And this really needs to end. I mean, yeah, I really don't want to get political and say this is Biden's ATF at work, but this is Biden's ATF at work. So yeah, Biden's ATF at work. They're worried about our ammunition. They're worried about what guns we have. They're worried about what triggers we're using. Meanwhile, you got the cartel that's literally crossing the United States border with firearms, as well as there's actually firearms from the United States crossing the border into Mexico. Nothing's being done about that, or at least not enough is being done about that. And then, of course, you have the United States military that literally just keeps recording more and more weapons going missing, such as M4A1 carbines, M249 Sauls, M240 Bravos. And what's really interesting is these are the types of firearms that's showing up in the hands of the cartel. But hey, don't you worry. We want to get your trigger that you're not supposed to possess because we said so. The court didn't say so. There was no law made, but we said so. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, folks, that's my thoughts and opinions about this whole subject. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. I definitely did want to raise awareness about this, especially because I'm sure some of you who watch this might even have one of these trigger setups. But anyway, folks, once again, thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful day.